balance. It's one of those words that gets thrown around in conversations about life, success, and happiness. We hear it everywhere, from self-help books to gurus to well-meaning friends. You need more balance in your life, they say. But let's be brutally honest here. Balance is not the path to greatness. Balance is a myth when it comes to reaching your full potential. In fact, I'd argue that it's one of the most dangerous ideas out there because it leads people to believe that they can achieve extraordinary results by staying in their comfort zone. The truth is, growth doesn't happen in balance. It happens in those moments of intense discomfort, in the moments when you push yourself beyond what you thought were your limits. Growth comes from challenge, from strain, from forcing yourself to go beyond what feels safe and easy. But balance is the illusion of safety. It's the seductive lie that you can have it all without having to push through the pain, the struggle, the hard work that real achievement demands. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should burn yourself out or that you should neglect your health, relationships, or peace of mind. What I am saying is that if you truly want to become exceptional in any area of your life, whether it's your career, your relationships, your health, your finances, you're going to have to abandon the fantasy of balance and embrace the reality of growth through discomfort. Think about it. When was the last time you achieved something great by playing it safe? When was the last time you made a breakthrough while staying comfortable? The comfort zone is the place where dreams go to die. It's where potential goes unfulfilled, where ambition slowly fades, and where people settle for less than they're capable of. But outside of that zone, that's where the magic happens. That's where growth occurs. That's where you find the person you were always meant to be. Let's talk about what balance really is. Balance is a state of neutrality. It's maintaining the status quo. It's a way of saying, I don't want to risk discomfort, so I'll stay right here, where it's safe. And for many people, that's enough. They want balance because they're afraid of what happens if they push too hard, too fast, or too far. But ask yourself this: do you want to live an ordinary life, or do you want to live an extraordinary one? Because I promise you, an extraordinary life doesn't come from balance. It comes from choosing growth over comfort every single time. When you prioritize balance, you're essentially saying that you're okay with mediocrity. You're saying, I don't need to push myself today. I've done enough, and maybe that's true if you're aiming for an average life. But if you're here today, if you're listening to this message, I know you're not here to be average. You're here because you know you were meant for more. The pursuit of balance keeps you in a perpetual state of hesitation. You're never fully committed to the grind, never fully immersed in the process, because part of you is always looking for the right time to stop, to take a break, to catch your breath. But what you don't realize is that the very act of looking for balance is what's holding you back. It's the hesitation that kills momentum. It's the constant need to retreat back into comfort that robs you of the breakthroughs you could be having. Look around at the most successful people in the world. The innovators, the leaders, the world changers, they didn't get there by living in balance. They didn't achieve greatness by maintaining the status quo. They pushed, they sacrificed, they worked through exhaustion, and yes, they embraced discomfort. They knew that to get what they truly wanted out of life, they had to leave balance behind. Think about elite athletes. Do you think they get to the top by seeking balance? No, they push their bodies and minds to the absolute limit, often going beyond what they believed was possible. They're not worried about balance when they're training. They're worried about growth, about progress, about getting that fraction of a second faster or that one extra rep stronger. They know that the only way to reach the top is to sacrifice balance for growth. The same principle applies to your career, your business, your relationships, your health. If you want something extraordinary, you've got to be willing to do what ordinary people won't. You've got to be willing to go all in, to throw balance out the window and chase growth with everything you've got. Because here's the thing about balance, it's a moving target. You're never truly balanced. And the moment you think you've achieved it, something shifts and you're out of balance again. So why chase it? Instead, chase growth. Chase the version of yourself that scares you. The version that you're not sure you can become, but you know deep down that you were made for. Chase the discomfort that comes with leveling up, because that discomfort is your greatest ally. It's telling you, hey, you're on the right track. Keep going. The more you lean into that discomfort, the more you grow, and the faster you evolve into the person you were destined to be. Growth requires imbalance. It requires focus, sacrifice, and an obsession with improvement. If you want to be the best at something, if you want to achieve real mastery, balance isn't part of the equation. Mastery requires all of you. It requires you to pour yourself into your work, your craft, your relationships, until you become something entirely different, something more powerful than you ever imagined. You've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the secret. The discomfort you feel when you're pushing harder, when you're working longer, when you're striving for something bigger, that's the signal that you're growing. That's the sign that you're breaking through the barriers that once held you back. It's the discomfort that leads to greatness, not balance. We live in a world that glorifies talent. From an early age, we're taught to admire those who seem to have a natural gift, the athletes who move with ease, the musicians who play flawlessly, the entrepreneurs who strike gold on their first try. Talent is praised, celebrated, and put on a pedestal as the key to success. But let's get real for a second. Talent is overrated. Talent can give you a head start, but talent alone will never take you all the way. It's discipline that separates the good from the great, the dreamers from the doers, the people who start strong from the people who finish stronger. Discipline is the ultimate equalizer. It doesn't care where you started or how much natural ability you have. What matters is your ability to show up day after day and put in the work. Discipline is about doing the things you don't feel like doing, especially when you don't feel like doing it. It's about grinding when everyone else is resting, practicing when others are relaxing, and pushing forward even when the path gets tough. That's what grit is. Grit is the relentless pursuit of your goals, no matter the obstacles, no matter the setbacks, no matter the sumpbacks, no matter the discomfort. The reality is that talent will only carry you so far. Think about it this way. Talent is like a spark. It ignites something inside of you, maybe gets you started, gives you that initial burst of motivation. But what happens when the spark fades, when the initial excitement wears off, and you're left with the daily grind of hard work? That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the fuel that keeps the fire burning long after talent has run its course. Without discipline, talent burns out. Without discipline, you'll never turn that spark into a blazing inferno. Let me tell you something that may be hard to hear. There are a lot of talented people out there who will never achieve anything great. Why? Because they rely on their talent alone. They get comfortable, they get lazy, and they stop pushing themselves. They think their natural ability will carry them through, but the truth is, the moment they meet someone with more grit, more resilience, more discipline, they lose. Discipline is the ability to push yourself when the excitement is gone, when the novelty wears off, when the road ahead feels long and hard. It's the ability to grind it out when others would quit. And make no mistake, most people quit. Most people give up when things get tough. They don't have the discipline to keep going, to keep striving, to keep working when the results don't come right away. But the people who succeed, the people who truly break through, they have one thing in common: they keep showing up. They keep putting in the work, even when no one is watching, even when there's no immediate payoff, even when it feels like they're not making progress. That's grit. Grit is the ability to persevere through difficulty, to stay focused on the long-term goal when the short-term obstacles seem insurmountable. It's not glamorous, it's not always fun, but it's the most critical factor in achieving anything worthwhile. Grit is what gets you through the grind, through the failure, through the moments when everything in you wants to quit. Because here's the reality: talent may give you a head start, but discipline will always outlast talent. Think about the most successful people you know. Are they the most talented, or are they the ones who have worked the hardest, stayed the longest, and persevered through the most adversity? Success is not about who's the most talented, it's about who's the most talented, it's about who's the most committed. It's about who's willing to show up every day and do the work no matter what. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who refuse to give up, who refuse to let setbacks stop them, and who refuse to let failure define them. The problem with relying on talent is that it creates a mindset of entitlement. When you're talented, things may come easily to you at first, and that can make you complacent. You start to expect things to come easy, and when they don't, when you hit a wall or face a challenge, you're more likely to give up. Discipline, on the other hand, creates a mindset of resilience. When you rely on discipline, you know that nothing worth having comes easy. You expect challenges, you expect setbacks, and you're prepared to push through them. You don't give up at the first sign of difficulty because you've trained yourself to endure, to keep going no matter what. Discipline is what builds resilience. It's what teaches you to weather the storm, to keep moving forward even when the odds are against you. It's what allows you to push past failure, to learn from your mistakes, and to come back stronger. Talent may get you in the door, but discipline is what keeps you there. Discipline is what allows you to rise above the competition, to outlast those who are more talented but less determined. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well, when you're seeing results, when everything seems to be falling into place. But what happens when the results don't come right away? What happens when progress is slow, when you hit a plateau, when nothing seems to be working? That's where discipline kicks in. Discipline is about doing the work whether you feel like it or not. It's about understanding that success is a long game and that the small, consistent actions you take every day are what will ultimately lead to massive results. The truth is, most people are waiting for motivation to strike. They think that in order to take action, they need to feel motivated, they need to feel inspired. But that's not how it works. Motivation is fleeting, discipline is constant. Motivation may get you started, but it's discipline that keeps you going. Discipline is what allows you to take action even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when you're doubting yourself. It's important to understand that discipline is a muscle. Just like any other muscle in your body, it needs to be trained, strengthened, and exercised regularly. The more you practice discipline, the stronger it becomes. Every time you push yourself to do something you don't want to do, every time you show up when it would be easier not to, you're building your discipline muscle. And just like any other muscle, the more you use it, the easier it gets. But discipline isn't just about showing up, it's about showing up with intention, with focus, with a commitment to excellence. It's not enough to just go through the motions. Discipline is about being fully engaged in the process, about giving 100% effort, even when no one is watching, even when the rewards aren't immediate. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard, about refusing to settle for mediocrity. When you rely on discipline instead of talent, you gain something far more valuable than just success. You gain the knowledge that you can overcome any challenge, that you can push through any obstacle, that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Discipline gives you control over your life, over your destiny. It empowers you to take action, to create your own path, to shape your own future. Excuses are like quicksand. They seem harmless at first, a little bit of reasoning here, a small justification there, but before you know it, they start to pull you down, dragging you further away from your goals and dreams. Excuses are the barriers we erect to shield ourselves from facing our true potential. They're the stories we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of growth, the fear of failure, or the challenge of doing something we're not quite ready to do. But here's the hard truth: excuses are the enemy of success. And if you want to achieve anything meaningful in life, you need to become stronger than your excuses. We all have them. Excuses come in many forms. I don't have enough time. I'm not smart enough. It's too late to start now. I don't have the resources. They are the convenient answers we give ourselves to justify our inaction, to keep us from stepping out of our comfort zones, and to avoid taking responsibility for our lives. But let's be honest. Excuses are a way of conceding defeat before the game has even begun. They're a form of self-sabotage that keeps you trapped in a cycle of mediocrity and missed opportunities. The truth is, every successful person has faced obstacles. They've all had moments when it would have been easier to make excuses, to give up, to settle for less. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is their ability to confront and overcome those excuses. They recognize them for what they are: temporary, flimsy reasons that have no power over their will to succeed. It starts with self-awareness. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about the excuses you're making. Are you using your busy schedule as an excuse not to pursue your goals? Are you telling yourself that you're not qualified enough to take that next step? Are you convinced that the timing isn't right, that you need more experience, or that you're just not cut out for it? Recognize these excuses for what they are: limitations you've placed on yourself to avoid facing the challenge of growth. Once you identify your excuses, it's time to confront them head on. Ask yourself why you're using these excuses. Are they based on reality, or are they just convenient ways to avoid taking action? More often than not, you'll find that excuses are not rooted in any real truth, but are simply fears and insecurities dressed up as rational reasons. Dissect them, challenge them, and push through them. Push through them. You have to be willing to go beyond the surface level excuses and dig into the deeper fears and doubts that fuel them. Next, build your resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep moving forward despite the obstacles. It's about developing a mindset that refuses to be swayed by difficulties, a determination that won't be deterred by temporary setbacks. When you cultivate resilience, you become less susceptible to the lure of excuses. You develop the strength to push through the discomfort, to face the challenges head on, and to persist in the face of adversity. Set clear, actionable goals. Excuses thrive in ambiguity. When your goals are vague or undefined, it's easy to make excuses about why you haven't achieved them. But when you set specific, measurable, and realistic goals, you create a clear roadmap for yourself. Clear goals reduce the room for excuses. They give you something tangible to work towards, a clear target to hit, and a concrete reason to keep pushing forward. Create a plan of action. A plan turns your goals into actionable steps. It breaks down the journey into manageable tasks and deadlines. When you have a plan in place, excuses become less viable. You have a structured approach to follow, and every step you take gets you closer to your goal. A well thought out plan doesn't leave room for excuses. It provides a framework for action and accountability. Hold yourself accountable. Accountability is crucial in conquering excuses. When you hold yourself accountable, you're taking responsibility for your actions and outcomes. This means setting deadlines, tracking progress, and being honest with yourself about where you stand. Accountability forces you to confront your excuses and take action, even when you'd rather procrastinate or find reasons not to act. Surround yourself with a support system. Having a network of people who believe in you, who challenge you, and who hold you accountable can make a significant difference. When you have supportive friends, mentors, or coaches, it's harder to hide behind excuses. Your support system will push you to overcome your excuses, to stay committed to your goals, and to keep moving forward, even when you feel like giving up. Develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through hard work, dedication, and learning. When you have a growth mindset, excuses become less relevant. You understand that challenges and failures are opportunities for growth, not reasons to quit. You see, every obstacle is a chance to learn and improve rather than a justification for inaction. Take consistent action. Action is the antidote to excuses. The more you act, the less room there is for excuses to take hold. Small, consistent actions build momentum and gradually dissolve the excuses that once held you back. Every step you take towards your goal makes it easier to push past the obstacles and challenges and lessens the power of excuses over your progress. Reframe your perspective. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable barriers, view them as opportunities for growth and development. When you shift your perspective, excuses become less compelling. You start to see challenges as part of the journey rather than as excuses to avoid action. This shift in mindset helps you to focus on solutions and opportunities rather than on the reasons you can't move forward. Finally, cultivate self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses, stay focused on your goals, and maintain a strong work ethic even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the key to overcoming excuses because it requires you to push through discomfort, resist temptations, and stay committed to your path. The more you strengthen your discipline, the less influence excuses will have over your actions. Conquering your excuses is not a one-time event, it's a continuous process. It requires ongoing self-awareness, resilience, planning, accountability, and action. It's about making a conscious decision every day to be stronger than your excuses, to push through the barriers you've set for yourself, and to stay committed to your goals no matter what. Excuses may seem like a comfort, but they are the shackles that keep you from reaching your full potential. To truly conquer them, you need to embrace discomfort, face your fears, and commit to being stronger than any excuse you can come up with. We live in a world that often celebrates grand gestures and sweeping changes. We admire the stories of people who made huge leaps in their lives or achieved monumental success seemingly overnight. But the reality is that most of us don't experience instant transformations or overnight success. True lasting change is often the result of small, incremental efforts compounded over time. This is where the 1% rule comes into play. It's the idea that making tiny, consistent improvements every day can lead to massive transformative results. Think about it. When you make a 1% improvement each day, it might not seem significant in the moment. 1% doesn't feel like a lot, and often the changes are so small that they're almost imperceptible. But when these tiny changes accumulate, they compound over time in a way that leads to extraordinary results. The 1% rule is about understanding that progress is not always about making huge leaps forward, but about making small, consistent strides that build up over time. Imagine this: if you improve just 1% each day, you're not just adding up tiny increments of progress, you're creating a powerful compounding effect. At the end of a year, those small 1% improvements result in a cumulative gain of over 37 times your original state. That's the power of consistent small efforts. It's about harnessing the compounding nature of small changes to achieve substantial outcomes. The idea is to focus on continuous improvement rather than waiting for a dramatic shift to occur. Let's break it down in your personal life. Small changes can make a big difference. It might be committing to read a few pages of a book each day, working out for just 15 minutes, or dedicating a few minutes to mindfulness practice. Each of these small actions might seem inconsequential in isolation, but over time, they build up to create significant personal growth and development. It's the daily discipline of making small improvements that leads to extraordinary results. In professional settings, the 1% rule can be applied in various ways, whether it's improving your skills, enhancing your productivity, or refining your processes. Small, consistent efforts can lead to major advancements. For instance, if you commit to learning a new skill just a little bit each day, or if you make minor adjustments to your work habits, over time, these small changes can significantly enhance your performance and career trajectory. Small, incremental improvements in your work habits can lead to major breakthroughs in career success. The beauty of the 1% rule is that it's accessible to everyone. You don't need to have extraordinary talent, massive resources, or dramatic circumstances to see results. What you need is the commitment to make small, consistent efforts and to embrace the idea that progress doesn't always come in big, flashy bursts. Instead, it's the result of persistent, everyday actions that might not seem significant on their own, but create a powerful impact when combined. Think of how the 1% rule applies to health and wellness. Making minor adjustments to your diet, incorporating a bit of exercise, or adopting better sleep habits can lead to significant improvements over time. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight, which can be overwhelming and unsustainable, focus on making small, manageable changes that you can stick with. These tiny changes, when compounded, lead to substantial health benefits and long-term well-being. The 1% rule also has profound implications for personal development and skill acquisition. If you commit to learning something new every day, no matter how small, over time, you'll accumulate a wealth of knowledge and expertise. It's not about making huge strides in a single day, but about the steady accumulation of knowledge and skill that leads to mastery. Each small effort, each tiny bit of learning builds upon the last, leading to significant growth and improvement. Applying the 1% rule requires a shift in mindset. It's about valuing the small steps and understanding that they are the building blocks of larger success. It's easy to overlook minor improvements or to feel that they aren't making a difference, but when you start to see the cumulative effect of these small changes, you realize that they are indeed making a significant impact. This shift in perspective helps you appreciate the process and stay committed to the journey, knowing that every small effort is contributing to a larger goal. To effectively apply the 1% rule, set clear, actionable goals. Define what those small improvements look like and how you will incorporate them into your daily routine. Break down your larger goals into manageable, incremental steps. Create a plan to implement these small changes and track your progress to see how these tiny efforts are accumulating over time. By setting clear goals and regularly evaluating your progress, you ensure that your small efforts are aligned with your larger objectives. Remember, the power of the 1% rule lies in its simplicity and consistency. It's not about making dramatic changes overnight, but about committing to small, daily actions that lead to substantial progress over time. By focusing on continuous improvement, embracing the compounding effect of small efforts, and staying consistent, you can achieve remarkable results and make a significant impact in any area of your life. In the competitive landscape of today's world, where innovation and agility are highly valued, it's easy to assume that the key to success lies in making bold moves or revolutionary changes. However, there's a power in consistency that is often underestimated. While many people focus on the flashy aspects of achievement, such as breakthrough moments or dramatic successes, the real game changer is relentless consistency. Consistency is the secret weapon that allows you to outlast the competition and achieve long-term success, no matter the field or endeavor. Consistency is not just about sticking to a routine. It's about maintaining a steady, reliable approach over time, regardless of the circumstances or challenges you face. It's the ability to show up every day, do the work, and adhere to your goals with unwavering commitment. Relentless consistency means refusing to be swayed by temporary setbacks, distractions, or changes in the environment. It's about staying focused on your path and continually putting in the effort, no matter how incremental or seemingly insignificant the progress may be. One of the greatest challenges in maintaining consistency is dealing with the inevitable dips in motivation and energy. There will be days when you don't feel like pushing forward, when obstacles seem insurmountable, or when the immediate results of your efforts are not apparent. Relentless consistency requires you to push through these moments of doubt and fatigue. It's about developing the discipline to continue working towards your goals, even when you don't feel inspired or when the results are not immediately visible. This discipline becomes a powerful asset, distinguishing you from those who give up or waver in their commitment. Consistency builds momentum. When you consistently work towards your goals, you create a positive feedback loop where each small effort adds up, leading to increased confidence and motivation. This momentum makes it easier to continue putting in the work and to overcome obstacles along the way. Relentless consistency transforms incremental progress into significant achievements. It turns small daily efforts into a powerful force that propels you forward, allowing you to build upon your successes and continuously advance towards your objectives. Another crucial aspect of relentless consistency is its impact on skill development and mastery. The more consistently you practice and work on your skills, the more proficient you become. Mastery is not achieved through sporadic bursts of effort, but through the steady, ongoing application of your abilities. By committing to consistent practice and refinement, you steadily enhance your skills and expertise. This dedication to improvement helps you stay ahead of the competition and ensures that you are always growing and evolving in your field. Consistency also builds trust and reliability. Whether in personal relationships or professional settings, being consistent in your actions and commitments fosters trust and dependability. People come to rely on you when they see that you consistently follow through on your promises and maintain a steady course of action. Relentless consistency establishes you as a reliable and dependable individual, which can open doors to new opportunities, strengthen relationships, and create a strong reputation in your field. It's important to understand that consistency is not about being rigid or inflexible. Rather, it's about maintaining a steady commitment to your goals while remaining adaptable to changes and challenges. Relentless consistency involves continuously evaluating your approach, making adjustments as needed, and staying focused on your long-term objectives. It's about finding the balance between persistence and adaptability, ensuring that you remain on track while also being open to evolving your strategies as necessary. To cultivate relentless consistency, it's essential to develop strong habits and routines. Establishing a regular schedule or set of practices helps to embed consistency into your daily life. Habits reduce the mental effort required to stay on track and make it easier to continue putting in the effort over time. By creating a structured approach to your work and goals, you minimize the likelihood of lapses in consistency and ensure that you remain focused and productive. Relentless consistency also involves setting clear and actionable goals. Define what success looks like for you and break down your larger objectives into smaller, manageable tasks. By setting specific, measurable goals, you create a clear roadmap for your efforts, making it easier to stay consistent and track your progress. Regularly reviewing and adjusting your goals ensures that you remain aligned with your long-term vision while also adapting to any changes in your circumstances or priorities. Accountability plays a crucial role in maintaining consistency. Having someone to hold you accountable, whether it's a mentor, coach, or even a peer, helps to reinforce your commitment and ensures that you stay on track. Accountability partners can provide encouragement, offer feedback, and help you stay focused on your goals. They also add an additional layer of motivation and support, making it easier to maintain your consistency and overcome any challenges that arise. Celebrate your progress along the way. While consistency is about maintaining a steady effort, it's also important to acknowledge and celebrate the milestones and achievements that come as a result of your hard work. Recognizing your progress helps to reinforce your commitment and keeps you motivated to continue striving towards your goals. Celebrations don't have to be grand or elaborate. Even small acknowledgments can boost your morale and remind you of the value of your consistent efforts. In summary, relentless consistency is a powerful strategy for outlasting the competition and achieving long-term success. It requires commitment, discipline, and the ability to push through challenges and setbacks. By maintaining a steady, reliable approach, building momentum, enhancing your skills, and fostering trust and reliability, you create a strong foundation for achieving your goals. Consistency is not about dramatic changes, but about the ongoing incremental efforts that lead to substantial and lasting results. In the pursuit of our goals and dreams, there is a simple yet profoundly powerful concept that can transform our approach to achieving success. It's the idea of doing one more. This principle is about pushing beyond the point where you might normally stop, whether it's one more rep at the gym, one more call to a prospective client, or one more step towards completing a project. It's about leveraging that extra effort to create extraordinary results. Imagine this: you're working on a challenging task or goal and you're tempted to stop, thinking that you've already done enough. But what if, instead of settling, you decided to go just a little bit further? What if you did one more? This could mean adding one more hour of work, making one more attempt, or taking one more step towards your goal. The concept of one more is about pushing past your limits and embracing the extra effort that can lead to remarkable outcomes. The magic of one more lies in its ability to create compounding effects. When you consistently apply this principle, you're not just making incremental progress, you're setting yourself apart from the competition. The extra effort you put in, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, adds up over time. Each one more is a building block that contributes to your overall success. It's the accumulation of these small extra efforts that can lead to significant breakthroughs and accomplishments. consider the impact of one more in the context of physical fitness. Imagine you're working out and you've reached the end of your routine. You're feeling exhausted and ready to stop, but you decide to push yourself to do just one more set of reps or one more sprint. That additional effort may not seem like much in isolation, but over time, it can lead to substantial improvements in your strength, endurance,